So is it just me, or do 99% of course sellers make all their money from selling courses? If you're watching this video, you probably noticed that there's this sort of phenomenon going on where, yeah, a lot of people are selling courses. Courses are great. I've bought many courses myself. I've learned a lot. But when it comes to like the paid course industry, it sort of gets like a bad rep for good reason. And I think one of the biggest reasons why is because a lot of these course sellers that you see online, they they show their nice cars, they show their fancy lifestyle, all this stuff. But the fact is, if you actually look at the numbers behind their business or businesses, most of their revenue comes from selling the course, not from making money from what the course is teaching itself. And if you think about it, it's kind of weird, right? Like, shouldn't these people be making a lot of money or most of their money from the actual business that they are an expert on? And this is coming from someone that has their own courses, right? So I sell courses. I used to sell a course about how to do YouTube. I used to sell a course about personal branding. I have a course right now about affiliate marketing. The thing is, though, at least last month, right? For example, about, I'd say 0.5% to 1% of my revenue comes from selling courses. A majority of my business is actually doing affiliate marketing, doing YouTube. And so, see, I'm just putting that to give you guys some context, because I'm not saying all course sellers are bad. I'm saying most course sellers, they don't make their money from the business itself. They make the money from selling the course. This does not necessarily mean that they are a bad teacher. But the big problem that I have is when they present the lifestyle and they set unrealistic expectations. And they say, hey, if you just do this, you'll get rich. When they didn't do that themselves, right? They got rich from selling the course, teaching other people this business strategy. So I'm going to talk about a bunch of different things, sort of going to be just like a rant, but this is something that I just want to talk about because I know a lot of you guys are thinking the same thing. And it's starting to just make the whole online make money space have this bad image that I don't really like. So the first thing, okay, let's talk about this. The first thing is that they don't really know how to build a successful business. A lot of these course sellers, they see some initial success in a business, and that's amazing. But then before actually building a very successful business that does a lot of revenue, they start teaching instead. And the reason why they do this, it just makes sense because online courses, teaching online, it is the easiest way for anyone to make money. It in itself is a business type. And it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to see success doing this than building an actual business. The reason for this is because social media, right? If you're good at creating content, you can easily sell a course. If you're good at flexing, if you're good at showing the lifestyle, if you're good at just creating content that catches the eyes of people that want to make money, you can definitely get a lot of sales for your course, no matter how good it is, right? So this is the first thing, right? A lot of people, they just haven't actually like built up the business that they say that they've built. Next thing is, I mentioned this already, but they're really selling the dream. They're not really selling the skill, right? If you look at a lot of these people's courses, like, they're okay. And yes, you absolutely will get value from the course. I think, like, if you put out a really, really bad course, you're going to get called out for it immediately. But yeah, a lot of these courses, they're fine. They're good. Are they worth hundreds or thousands of dollars? I don't know. It's up to you to decide. But for most people, I'd say it's not gonna be worth it, right? They're sold on this dream. Um, but the things that they learn in these courses can absolutely be found in most places. This is basically true for like almost every single course out there. Yeah, there is some proprietary stuff that they're probably teaching you, but the vast majority of the stuff, 99% of it, 100% of like the first beginner stuff can be found on YouTube for free, and other sites. So yeah, it's this whole I should say selling the dream is okay because it definitely does inspire people to start entrepreneurship, but it sets unrealistic expectations. And I don't like that, right? A lot of these courses, they're okay, but they're not amazing, and they're certainly not worth thousands of dollars. Next is a lot of these course sellers, they are really good marketers. They're amazing at content. They know how to make short form videos or long form videos or whatever it is. But whatever business that they're actually teaching, they are probably not that good. Of course, there are exceptions, but this is the vast majority of them. They're good at building funnels. They're good at building urgency. They're really good at like sales psychology. But when it comes to the stuff that they're teaching, they're okay, right? They're not experts. And so it's really this, it's kind of like opaque. It's kind of the ethics that are not there that much. And yeah, just think of all these people as marketers first, not like actual business owners. Of course, there are exceptions. Don't get me wrong. There are great courses out there, great course sellers out there, but a vast majority of them, I'd say, are not that. Next is people do this thing with their content that I'm not really fond of. And it's like, it's making people feel like they are behind. So you can absolutely make content showing the nice things that you have. And, in motivating people by doing that. But if the messaging behind your content is like, hey, like, what are you doing? You should have made this much money by the time you're this age. It's just sort of like, they're purposely making people feel bad. They're really breaking into their insecurities in order to get more sales. And I just don't think that's like a very ethical sales tactic. People say, hey, if you're not making $10,000 per month, like, what are you doing? Like, lock in, right? Stuff like that. Like, I get where it can be beneficial to some people. But for most people, it just makes them feel bad. And like I said, it plays into their insecurity, and it's what really helps drive the sale. So this like psychological game that they're playing to get your money, it's not ethical in my opinion. I mentioned this earlier already too, but a lot of these courses, while they are good, right? Like they basically organize a lot of information into one single place, which is great for some people. It gives you like a more step-by-step thing to follow. But in the grand scheme, for most of these course sellers, they are overcharging for very basic information. You can absolutely find better stuff for free online on YouTube. And yeah, it's just not worth it in my opinion. Coming from someone that's like frugal, I've taken courses I'd say are worth it, and some that are not worth it. It really, yeah, it just, I guess there's no oversight. There's no real motivation for them to create a really amazing course. Because once they have their money, it's unlikely that they're going to refund you. If there's a refund clause, they might have some type of Like you might need to not go through X% of the course, or you might need to do a bunch of different things before you're eligible for a refund. There's a bunch of different like scammy things that people do to prevent people from actually getting their money back if they don't like the course. And yeah, I just think with social media, with all these influencers buying courses or buying these nice cars, buying or renting these apartments that they call penthouses. Right, a lot of this happens in LA, in Miami, in some of these cities like that. With all this, I think people are getting tired of it. They are really turned off by sort of these fake promises. And yeah, you just got to know that a lot of these people, they make most of their money not from the actual thing, but from selling the course. Selling the course is a business. Like it's still a hard business to run, but it's likely much easier to have a course like that, a business like that, than actually building something real. And a lot of these people, they are newer entrepreneurs, right? So they don't really have systems in place. Their fulfillment is not that good. They don't really have a team. What they're focusing on is just the marketing, the content. That's what they're great at. But when it comes to actually the course, the fulfillment, customer service, whatever it is, that's when, some of it cannot be as good. And I don't want this video to just come across and seem like, oh, all course sellers are bad. That's completely false. There are tons of great course sellers out there, but there are course sellers out there that are sort of ruining it for everyone. And before you invest in any creator's course, you should really know that, like, are they actually making a lot of money from what they're teaching, or are they making most of their money from actually teaching you what they know about that thing, which is not that much. Good questions to ask yourself. Still buy courses. I think they're great. There are great courses out there. There's a ton of free information on YouTube. Right, I have courses too. I'm not hating on 100% of courses. I think my course is great. For example, the affiliate marketing course, like I said, I make under 1% of my revenue from selling courses. And so was it worth it for me to actually make that course? 100% no. But I want to share the things I learned. I actually think there's like a ton of insane value. And it's actually stuff that like I can't show on YouTube. The reason for this is because it's way too like niche and specific. Most people would just not get any value from it. But for the type of people that want to build a business like mine, it is incredibly, incredibly helpful. And if you already make money with affiliates and you get traffic and stuff, I encourage you to reach out to my team. We have a bunch of really good affiliate deals with some companies. The reason why we have these deals is because we drive a lot of volume. So we have negotiating power. We've negotiated rates that are way higher than the public rates. So we can share that, delta with you. So it's like a win-win for everyone. So yeah, just feel free to reach out if you feel like you fall into that category. Anyways, that's my little rant about courses. Yeah, that's it. See you guys in the next video.